Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of calculating interest. This is standard 8.12D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 17 of the 2023 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a business owner, and we are investing some money. We've got some interest that's being activated. It looks like annually, right? Accruing annually, and then no additional deposits or withdrawals. So we need to find the amount that is closest to the interest earned at the end of 4 years. All right, so we are going to need, before we get into that, let's open up our reference materials. And we're going to find it all the way down at the very, very bottom section called additional information. Now, they did say very specifically, right, we have simple interest. That's very important because as you notice here, look, I've got two different types of interest, right? I'm wanting this one right there, simple interest. But there is a compound interest, different formula if it's compounded rather than just with a simple interest. So we need I equals PRT. All right, so once we have I equals PRT, that's really all we need from there. Now, this is calculating the interest, right? So this I is your interest, and that's good. It's exactly what we're looking for. Sometimes problems like this will ask what the new balance is going to be, and so you have to find the interest and then add back in the principal, but we're just looking for the interest here. So each of these, now, if you don't know what PRT stands for, right, that is going to make it difficult. So each of these letters stand for something that we need here, okay? So this P is the principal. We don't have the word principal called out exactly in this problem, so we will have to define that, find a synonym, right? We've got this R is your rate, specifically your interest rate. And then this is your time. So even though I equals PRT is on your reference materials, you still have to interpret it a little bit. So let's look at one chunk at a time. That I is interest, which is what we're looking for. So that's good, because that's our question. Now, principal, right? There's only there's only 3 numbers in this problem, right? There's 3 variables, PRT, I've got a 10,500, I've got a 1.2%, and I've got a 4 years. So we are going to need all 3 of those numbers. Okay, so the principal is always your initial amount. Okay, so the principal, another way to think of that is how much money did you start with? What is your starting deposit? Okay, what is the amount of money that's actually earning the interest? Well, they give that to us right here. It's the 10,500, okay? So P equals the 10,500. Now, that's the amount of money that's having the interest calculated on it. An important feature here, and they give it to us, and I'll underline it in green, is there are no additional deposits or withdrawals, okay? So let's say you have 10,500, you get some interest, and then you add in another $5,000. Well, if you do that, then you have to recalculate because your principal has changed and went from 10,500 to $5,000 more plus a little interest. So you're typically going to see a statement like no additional deposits or withdrawals. That means the principal doesn't change. In this particular problem, it stays the same. So that's good. All right, so we have our P. Now, the rate is a little bit tricky because it's not just 1.2. It's a percentage. But when we're going to calculate it, we need it to be a decimal. Okay, so we'll say 1.2%. What is that as a decimal? Well, we either divide by 100, right, because it's 1.2 over 100. We move the decimal over twice. So really that's going to be 0.012. You have to change this percent into a decimal. The time, okay, that's pretty easy. So that's 4. So let's calculate all of it, okay? So we have the 10,500, right? And we need to multiply that by our interest rate of 0.012. And then we need to multiply that by 4 years. We got $504. And so there we go. Our answer is going to be A, 504.